I was having an online internet conversation in which the Christian community was called out for being complicit with the extremely negative consequences and dialogue that is being presented, particularly in the U.S. presidency currently. There's lots of people who are going to disagree with me on this one, but the political climate in the U.S. is very negative, and the current president is not a very pleasant person. And unfortunately, the far-right Christian vocal minority who supports him is creating an image for Christianity that is, to be frank, completely opposite of what Christianity should be. And so the individual I was talking with called out Christians and said that, President Trump's speech or tweet today wasn't even a speech on Easter, was typical of modern Christianity. And unfortunately, it is typical of modern perception of Christianity because many Christians are perceived as hateful and bigoted and really quite the opposite of the person that Jesus Christ should be. So particularly today, as the Christian world celebrates Easter, and I am a Christian, and I'm celebrating Easter, I'm celebrating the death and resurrection of somebody who gave us the ability to rectify our mistakes and extends that grace to everybody, regardless of their belief, and with just the ability to accept him. And then also, which the majority of Christianity in the public sphere currently seems to forget, also commanded people to judge not lest ye be judged. So if somebody chooses to make other choices than what you agree with as a Christian, then it's none of your freaking business, because judge not lest ye be not judged, unless ye be judged. And it's a shame that the people who should be the perfect citizens, people who are willing to reach out to the lepers, to the cast out in society and downtrodden, Jesus himself didn't spend his time with the people who were saved at the time. He spent his time with the sick, the weary, those who mourned, those who had problems. He spent his time with the sinners of the world, not the righteous. And so as a consequence, today especially, and politically in the world, Christians do need to stand up for what's right and not let the vocal minority of people who are frankly hateful and spiteful and, in my opinion, be probably slightly evil, control the narrative that's happening right now. It's a shame. And so I felt called out by this individual. And so I'm saying it here. We as Christians or believers in Christ should be people who are the first to reach out to somebody who is transgendered or who is homosexual or who is a sinner, and be their friend and support them, and not just be insular and only associate with people who believe what we believe, because I don't think that's what Jesus did. In fact, I know it's not what Jesus did. All you have to do is read the Bible, So I don't talk about my religion here on social media hardly ever, because I don't feel it's relevant, but maybe it is relevant because I am a believer in Jesus Christ, and I am also somebody who believes that I can be friends and support my neighbor regardless of what their personal lifestyle is, what their personal choices are, and whether I agree with them politically or not. I think that's how we change the narrative. That's how we take back control of our countries. I'm not American, so Donald Trump is not my president, and I feel sorry for the U.S. that he is your president. But that's the beautiful thing about a democracy, is that as you speak up and vote with your conscience and your dollars, you can change what's going on. And those of us who believe in Christ and who also believe in the principles that Christ embodies, namely love, charity, gratefulness, humility, all of these good traits that we should all strive to develop that are not being shown in the public narrative. Maybe as those of us who do believe in those things speak up a little bit more, we can change not only the public narrative and political discourse that's going on, but we can also change the political and public perception of what is happening to Christianity. Because I agree, Christianity is heading down the tubes because we are allowing the vocal spiteful and the vocal hateful control what is being seen. So there you go. That's my opinion. Happy Easter.